All right, so here's the deal. If you guys don't mind. The plan is to start a new document so that we can do the next chunk of parts. 11 through 20 will go in a new document, and we can do the first 4 or 5 today. We do have, by my as far as I know, have a all period day tomorrow. So between today, all period day, tomorrow, and Friday, we should be able to get all these done this week. That would be great. So they maybe 4, 2, and 4, especially since this actually works out well because 11, 12, 13, 14 are sort of a medium complexity, and 15 and 16 are a little more complex, have a bunch more part features. So do those, and then the other one's the last day. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and make a new document. Let's call it parts 11 through 20. And let's do full screen. There we go. Okay. So the goal for this chunk of recording is let's get at least 11, 12, 13, 14 done. And so obviously starting with 11. Okay, 11. There's a few ways to do this. I mean, I say that for every part. It's fine. The way I see this one is a little bit more like the footprint would be the first drawing and extrude it a height of 2. Then you could either do creating this part and extrude it back. And then there's 2 more cutaways that we can take care of. Now, these sort of thin lines on top of the drawing, those are drawing lines or construction lines, depending. And they show you the center point by extending out past everything there and there. They're showing that this is the center point, not just for this inner arc, but it's also the center point for this outer arc, which will make it a lot easier to make. Also, that's just the way we're going to make it because it's correct. And so if we're looking at the footprint is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the straight part, 9 by 2, 2 tall, 4 deep. And then this rounded part has that same depth of 4, which makes it a radius of 2, but we'll just use a circle. And I know that was confusing even for me. So let's start a sketch. And because I'm going to draw the footprint, I'm going to draw it on the face called top. And we can look at it from the top. And that first rectangle, we're going to make it 9 wide and 4 deep. 9 this way, 4 this way. And you can see where we're sketching right now. We're sketching, what would be on the ground, the footprint. Let's turn off the visibility of our origin plane since we have something to work with now. And the other part of the footprint is the this rounded edge right here, which is going to go like right here. And that has a radius of 2, but it's the same thing, a diameter of 4, because we can just use a circle tool and center it on this and draw a full circle, and that'll make it easier to extrude and keep a regular shape. So let's look at it straight on from the top, get our circle. Should get a good snap to the halfway point right there. First click there, second click on the corner. You can see it already says diameter 4, which that little slash, circle with a slash through it is the symbol for diameter. And that's our footprint. Let's go ahead and finish the sketch. Look at it from a corner, extrude, choose everything here. And this is the height of this first ledge, which is an extrusion of 2. So let's go back here and change that distance to 2. Hit OK. Okay, let's just go ahead and create the other part. The other part, I am just going to draw from the front, or draw the front portion, which this is what we already have here. I would just need to draw up and then over, which will be like this. And you can see where, again, we have center marks there that go all the way across. That shows you sort of where the arc starts also. So that means the square or rectangle part is only 2 tall and 4 wide. And then we have another arc that would be on the center point of that rectangle. And then we extrude it that same distance of 4. So let's put a sketch on the front, look at it straight on, get a rectangle that snaps to this corner right here and goes up and in. And just to make sure you can see where we're sketching on this front. And the dimensions of this are 2 tall and 4 wide. And then to do the arc, we just need a circle from the center point to the edge. And we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose everything, and switch direction. And make sure you switch it to add instead of new, because we want it to be part of the same material. And our distance of extrusion is 4, goes to the other side. And hit OK. Okay. All right. So the other portions are just 2 cutaways. Let's do the easier one. The easier one is just a circle here, and it's on the center point. You could tell from how the center line goes right through the middle that the center point for the circle is the same as the center point for the arc. So if there's some way we can snap to that center point, it will save us some time, and there is. So it's sketch on this face, look at it straight on. We don't automatically get a center point snap in the middle. Wait, do we? Oh, we do kind of. That's different than before. One way to do it, if it doesn't pop up for you, is to get the use tool, which we used when we did that loft feature, and click on the edge of something, and it will project that actual point to be an actual point in the drawing. And so from there, we can just do a circle with a diameter of 2. And then finish the sketch and look at it from a corner. And again, the lighting is kind of weird, but there's that. And we can do extrude, choose that, switch it to remove, and change blind to through all. Hit OK. And we are just sort of guessing that it goes all the way through. There's no reason to think that it doesn't. We can't really tell from this one drawing, but that's fine. And the other thing is this cutout here, which is going to be essentially the same thing, except it's 2 circles that are 4 or 3 apart. 3 apart. Their center points of these 2 circles are 3 apart, and then we just need to connect it with lines to make one big sort of pill shape, and then cut extrude all the way through. And it uses, this side uses the same center point as this, and from there we can find the other center point with just regular dimensioning drawing. So let's sketch on that face right here, look at it straight down, and let's do the use tool so that we can snap to that. We know we need a circle from here that's a diameter of 2. And we need another circle over here, but it needs to be exactly, center point needs to be exactly 3 away from there. And it needs to be like exactly horizontal. So you can see how you get sort of the marching ant snaps when you get to the same elevation as the other center point. So you click there with another circle. We can dimension the size of that circle to 2. And then we can dimension the distance from, still have the dimension tool, the distance from one center point to the other center point, and set that to 3. Now we just need to fill in the middle, which we can with a rectangle, and we should get a snap. Do we get a snap? Okay. Ideally, we would get a snap to the top center of this, so we knew exactly where we are, but it doesn't give us that one. So we kind of have to do one rectangle from the center here to the top, because we do get a snap when we are directly above something. And we get the same one here. Okay, so it's like that. It's a little sloppy, but that's fine. You can extrude, choose every one of these, and switch it to remove, and remove through all, hit OK. Okay, so that was part 11. Let's rename, call it part 11. In the tab, we'll call it part 11. And the name of the document is still parts 11 through 20. And so that means we need a new part studio. Let's go ahead and rename it. Right click, rename, part 12. And for part 12, similar situation, a little bit easier as far as cuts go. We're still going to start with a footprint, and that footprint is kind of have to, with your eye, sort of draw over to here. This is where the arc starts that way, and this is where the arc starts this way. So the square or rectangular part of the footprint is this wide, which is 2, 4, and 2, which is 8 that way, 4 this way, 2 tall. But I'm really only worried about the 8x4 rectangle, which is sort of the square part of the footprint, and then we'll arc on both sides and extrude it up. Okay, so let's look at it from, or sketch on the face called top. All right, this plane called top, and rectangle from there that way. and dimension, the width of the square part is 8. This is actually the depth is 4. And then we just need circles on either end to make those arcs. This is one. And this is the other. Okay, everything's black so that it's all fully constrained. And finish the sketch, look at it from a corner. Turn off the visibility of the origin point and planes. And let's extrude everything. And extrude it that height of that first ledge, which is 2. Okay. For the other portion, it's a little trickier because we can't, like, normally I would do the sketch like I did on the last time, try to do something that would do this face and extrude it that way, but we don't really have a plane to click on. Hey, guys. Thanks. We don't really have a plane to click on right here. So we could do an offset plane, but I don't really want to do that. That's unnecessarily complicated. What we're actually going to do is just draw the footprint of this tall part, which is 4x4 this way, extrude the whole thing up, and then fillet off the edges. And then do the circles. The footprint here is 4 wide. It's the full depth, which is 4. But the key is that from there, we still need to dimension the distance, like the location of these sort of sides, because they won't be constrained. They'll just be floating. So we're going to dimension them 2 from the center of each of the, well, we don't have the circles yet. What's the easiest way? Well, let's do the circles first, because then we can dimension from those. Okay, so both the circles are 2-inch diameter, and they share the same center point as the arcs they are inside of. So let's do sketch on the top. Look at it straight on from the top. We'll use the use tool to project the edges. Get the circle tool. 1 circle there. I'm just going to make both circles and then dimension both of them. Dimension tool, dimension that to 2-inch diameter and 2-inch diameter. Finish sketch, look at it from a corner, extrude, choose the circles. Switch it to remove. I don't know why mine is going backwards, but if it ever is like pointed the wrong direction or something, like right now it's trying to add material inside, and I don't know why it has like the inverse of the plane, but whatever. Either way, we want to remove. This is part of the reason, or one of the reasons why you look at it from a corner or a 3D view when you're extruding, to make sure that it's extruding the correct direction. And so here we just want to remove, we want to remove all. And hit OK. Okay, then the part, sort of the tower part, let's put a sketch on the top. And we want a rectangle to make that 4x4 footprint. And we want it to snap to somewhere on the top edge, but not the center point or the end, just somewhere on the top edge up here. And then somewhere on the bottom edge here. And so we still need to make it the right size. So we want to dimension. This is going to be a 3-click dimension. First click, second click, and then third click to set it, because we're dimensioning the distance between those. But you'll notice it's still blue, and that's because we need to define where it is. And so we actually only need to do this once. We need to dimension one of these blue lines to something going sideways. And if we project the edge or use this circle, we'll get a center point to click on. Then we can just dimension the distance from that blue line to that point, and that should be 2. And now all the lines are black because they're fully constrained. And check mark. And let's extrude this. And let's just go ahead and extrude it this full height, which is 3, 4, it's 5 tall actually. So let's extrude it 5. Make sure it's on add and not new. And we're going from the side now. So let's, we actually can just sort of fillet off these edges using the fillet tool, which is a round over tool. And the dimension we give it is the diameter of this arc, which is the distance from here, which is just 2 in every direction. Because the whole thing is 4, if we have a 2-inch radius curve all the way around, it will make one smooth curve because of the way that works. So let's just get the fillet tool and click on this edge, click on this back edge. And mine was already set to 2, but if you don't have it set to 2, set it to 2. And it should end up looking like that. And there you go. All right. Oh, the last portion is just this 2-inch hole that goes on the side and all the way through. Let's put a sketch there. We can do use right there. And then we can do a circle. We know it shares the same center point, so we don't even need to dimension its location. We just need size and location. So diameter of 2. Finish the sketch, extrude, choose the circle, and switch it to remove, and remove all. And there you go. There's part 12. Okay, new part studio. Go ahead and rename it now. Part 13. Okay, a lot of the same features between these two and actually the previous one also. I'm going to follow almost the same pattern with doing the footprint first and extruding up. This footprint is, how far is it? Y is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 to where the arc starts, and then the standard arc. Okay, and the base is still 4. So 4 by 7 with an arc on the right side and extruded 2. Sketch on the face top because we're drawing the footprint. Look at it straight down. Rectangle. Dimension that rectangle to 7 this way. 4 this way. And a circle. Snaps to the same center point. And there's that. Finish sketch, extrude, choose everything, and extrude it 2. Okay, we turn off the origin planes, and let's take care of these two right here, which, what's up? Yeah, you don't need to dimension it if you just snap it to from the center point here to the corner there. It will handle the dimensioning for you. Yep. Okay, so the two circles, let's put a sketch on this plane right here. And then we have one of the, they're both 2-inch circles. One of them shares the center mark of this arc on the right, which is like right there. So we have a 2-inch circle there. Then we have another 2-inch circle over here that is, will dimension from center point to center point is 3 inches away from the center point. And we'll do this on the same sketch and extrusion. So sketch on the top. And let's project this edge so we get that center point. We need one snap here. That should be a distance of 2 or diameter of 2. Then we need another circle, which we should be able to get. It's not giving me the snaps. Either way, you can just make a circle. Actually, no, let's not do that. It's not giving me the right snaps. Let's just get a line, and it won't be part of the extrusion. It will just be like a construction line, which there are construction lines, but it doesn't make a difference here. We'll snap to the center point and make sure you snap it to horizontal like that. And if we dimension that to 3, we can use the other end of this line as the center point for our other circle. And so we can get a circle, dimension it there. That diameter is 2 also. We can finish the sketch, look at it from a corner, and extrude this and this. Switch it to remove and remove all. Hit OK. So the other portion, let's just to keep it simple, let's draw sort of the footprint of this back tower part, which is the entire depth. It's 2 inches wide, will be the shape of our sketch. And then we can extrude it the total height, which the total height is 1, 2 to here, another 1 to that center point makes 3, and then 2 more makes 5. So let's put a sketch on here, look at it straight down, sketch right there. And a rectangle that snaps to the top back corner. And the other side of the rectangle needs to snap to the front edge, but not a center point or end point, just somewhere on the edge, somewhere on this, what is the bottom edge, but it really is the front edge. And we need to dimension the location of this blue line. We're going to do that with a 3-click dimension. First click, second click, third, and it's 2 wide. And so that's the footprint. Let's go ahead and finish the sketch and extrude it. Extrude it up, and let's extrude it a distance of 5. Okay, so remaining, we have 3 more features, kind of 2, I suppose. One is we're going to fillet off this corner or this edge and this edge to a radius of 1. And it's difficult to see, but there are center marks. The radius of this, these arcs, it's not a radius of 2 like a smoothed over one, which is the same dimensions as all the other ones. This is actually just a radius of 1. It's a tiny corner. And then the other one, this sort of trough, we're going to make with 1 circle like this. And then we'll do the rectangle thing to cut out the remainder. So let's do a sketch on this face. And I actually think it's probably easier to do the rectangle first and then use the rectangle the center point as our center point for the circle. And so this rectangle is going to be too tall from the top edge. So from this top edge, we're going to go down 2 and then across 2. So it's just going to be a 2x2 square here. And then after that, we'll put a circle on that same center point. But we are going to need to dimension this a couple ways. We know it's too tall and we know it's too wide, but then we're still going to need to dimension its distance from the side, which in this case, there's only one from either side. We only need to do one of those dimensions, but one from either side is fine. So we need a rectangle that snaps somewhere on the top edge, but not the center point. And we need the size of this, which is too wide, too tall, and it's still, one of the lines are still blue, so you know it's missing something. And we need to dimension the distance from the side of the rectangle to the side of everything, and that needs to be 1. Okay, so that's the square part of this cutaway. Let's get another circle, and we should get a snap to the exact center point of this bottom edge or bottom side of the square. First click there and second click on the corner. And if you do that, it will automatically turn black so that it's fully constrained. Finish the sketch, look at it from a corner, extrude, choose everything, all 3 of those segments, switch it to remove all, and then just the fillets on the top, fillet tool, not fillet tool, fillet tool, and choose the edges you want, which are both of these. But we don't want a radius of 2, we just want a radius of 1. And that is what number 13 looks like. Okay, only one more for today, and then we'll do some more grading if you have any more done. New one, let's go ahead and rename it. Part 14. Okay, part 14 is, I mean, they all have very similar themes, you might call it. Okay, so here, just like before, we have rounded over. I think the easiest way is just a footprint type of thing. Rounded over on this side, and we can't see the whole thing be rounded over, but we can presume that it continues down that way. So the square part is everything between here and here, and then straight over, and then rounded over on either side. So it's really the distance from the center of this circle to the center of this. It's horizontal distance. So that's 2 going there. That gets us down to here. That's a 3, 4 to that center point. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the distance across the square part of what we're going to draw is 8 this way. We know its total width is 4. And then we just have circles on both ends of the footprint, and we'll extrude it the height of 2. So 8, 4, and 2. Okay, so let's sketch on the face called top. Look at it straight down, rectangle tool, rectangle from there to there, dimension the width to 8, and the height to 4. Or it's not height, technically it's the depth because we're looking at it from the top. And circles on either side, make sure you snap to the center point. And the other center point. And finish the sketch. Look at it from a corner. Turn off the origin points and planes. Extrude, choose everything. And extrude it the height of 2. Okay, so now let's take care of the tall part first. I think that'll be easier. This is another one of those awkward rectangles and circles combination, which I don't know, it's a little clumsy. I got to think of a better way of doing it. Either way, this tall part is just a circle, but it lines up perfectly with this edge. So we're just going to make a circle that uses the same center point. And we won't even need to dimension it because it'll snap to a center point that we'll get from the arc we have. Then we use a circle on that center point and go right to the edge, and it'll be exactly the right size. Then we just need to extrude it up the distance off of the surface we have, which is another 1, 2, 3, 4. It's another 4 tall. So let's go ahead and sketch on the top face. Look at it straight down. Get the use tool. Click on the arc here so that it projects that point. Then we can get a center point circle. Click on that point, and then go out and click on the edge of the arc. And it should, say that again. To project the thing, the use tool. If you click on that, it should pop up. And I actually got a weird dimension there. It's probably because of the aliasing and whatever. So just do circle tool. Once you have that point, first click on that point, and second click somewhere like at the top. Should be able to click somewhere on the arc, but it's not. It's doing math weird for where that line actually is. But if you click on the corner here or the corner down here, it will dimension it perfectly. And if the full circle is black at the end, that means it's fully constrained. And yes, can you see okay, so once we have that circle, we can finish the sketch, extrude, choose that circle, and extrude at a distance of 4. And then the same thing for the cutaway on the top. Let's start a sketch on the top face. And we need to place a snap so we can get the use tool again. Click on that edge. Then circle. From there, dimension that circle. That circle also has a diameter of 2. And so we can get the dimension tool, dimension that circle to 2. And let's extrude, choose. Oh, let's not click on everything. No. Extrude, choose the center part of that circle, switch it to remove, and remove all. Hit OK. Okay, only one more feature here, and that is the elongated sketch there. And we need something to work from. And I think the easiest thing to work from is just projecting. Come on now. Projecting this point, which is the center point of the arc. And if we have the center point of the arc, we can use that to make this shape. And once we have that, we can just do the rest of it. So let's do that. Let's sketch on the top surface. And we can use the use tool to project that. And we can do our first circle over here, which is a diameter of 2. And it's actually going to be easier to do the rectangle first. Okay, we need to, at some point, make a rectangle that's 2 by 4 to sort of fill this in. but we don't really get good snaps here. So we can't just make a rectangle that's like this, because we won't get the perfect snap there. So just like before, we're going to make one rectangle that's 4 by 1. It goes like this way, 4 by 1, and lines up exactly with the top there. And then another rectangle that's 4 by 1 the other way. And that is one way to center it. And so yeah, let's do that. We're still on the same sketch. Let's rectangle from the center point here, because that's a known location, and just make it this direction. We're not going to get a good snap. And dimension the width of this to 4, and the depth, technically, although height on the page, 1 that way. Then another rectangle, same size, 4 this way, and 1 this way. Then we just need another circle on the other side, which we have the perfect center point for, which is where those rectangles meet. And we have the perfect endpoint for, which is either one of those top or bottom corners. And it should say diameter 2 when you do it, which is that circle /2. And it should all be black. Finish the sketch, look at it from a corner, extrude, choose everything. Switch it to remove and remove through all. Okay. Hit okay. All right. So that's where we're going to stop for today. Yeah, in case you weren't listening before, you do need to do all these. It is not too late to catch up, but it quickly will become too late to catch up. Every single recording is available. And yeah, there's that. Okay. We will try to be done with all these by the end of the week so that we can do what have you. Okay.